Although that's a good background music for what I intend to say, but I can't hear myself talk right now. I just have jingle bells in my ears. So this is such a nice venue, I think. And I'm thinking yesterday we had a great celebration, and it was in the boardroom, and it felt so good. And then coming down here, whoa! Maybe it's different. That makes this like better. So anyway, we're turning down the music.
I think you should dance to it.
Oh my god, I just had a deja vu.
Uh-oh, did I dance?
Step class. Step class.
Oh my God. Reception for me. You know, it's not common. Oh, our photographer just walked in. It's not common that you have what just today I learned we call lifers working in the same company, in a company. And that word came from Karina. She is one of our lifers, and that's what she called herself. And I thought, you know, that's what I am, and I've always been that since I was a kid, and that's from my dad. But to have people who have been with us for 8,230 days, if you do the math, you'll see that is 25 years, or a few more, is incredible. And that makes me so proud that our company has the spirit that will have people wanting to spend most of their lives with us. You know, that's amazing. That's why I thought this event today was very important for me, and to show the appreciation that that I have for all of you. So let's start. I'd like to call up Karina. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to talk. Oh no, you're just hanging out here. Yes, you want to sit. The queen seat. So I wrote this one. I wrote this one in the first person. So I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk more like Karina now, because it's in first person. I started work for CHNs and... Okay, let me just talk normally. Is that okay? Thank you. I started work for CHNs and Suites on January 2nd, 1991. 1991. I was hired through an agency. So we had to pay an agency to get you to work for us?
We used to do that all the time.
Tremendous investment.
All the time.
But it was a tremendous investment. I was hired through an agency in late December 1990 and interviewed with Sherry Cannon, the controller at the time. And those of us all remember these names. We're going to, some don't. Sherry Cannon, the controller at the time. I initially worked in accounts payable with Nina, who trained me on the procedures and on DHAN, the old DOS-based system in use. I don't even remember DHAN. Whoa.
That was the best accounting system ever.
That's
Because you didn't work in it.
But then I wanted to improve my performance, because Keith was always overlooking me and said I wasn't working hard enough. So I went to evening classes at Red River College in accounting for 2 years and received a certificate in business administration. All that time, Sherry gave me the financial statements for 2 properties on a trial basis. And I guess, I did okay, as I'm still working on financial statements to this day. It was more challenging work, but also more interesting. Luckily, the 2 accountants at the time, Shirley, what the last names? Prokopchuk and Helen Carmilo, were very willing to help me learn the ropes. A nautical term that I am now familiar with from the sailing trips I've been on. Since that time, I've worked on a number of different projects, some more complex than others. Hello, Hecla. I've also worked on the purchase and sale of a number of projects. I love this one. Sometimes the same properties have been bought and sold. I think I've done 3 or 4 sales for Fredericton alone. So it's bought and sold by like different hands in the same body. I've had the opportunity to work with a number of great people over the years, many no longer with the company. I'd like to think I've learned a little from them all. Thank you. Present, you may stand up now. Karina with a certificate of distinction in recognition of your 25 years of service. You are hereby awarded the certificate of distinction and the rights and privileges hereto pertaining. Thank you for your years of service and dedication to the Lakeview Group of Campanies.
It's like my parole certificate after.
Okay, thanks, Karina.
Thank you, Keith.
Did I embarrass you enough?
Oh, yeah.
I joined the Lakeview team on March 12th, 1990, as a receptionist. Should I improve my tone? I think I should.
Sure.
I joined the Lakeview team on March 12th. And how do you remember the day? That's amazing, March 12th.
It's my anniversary.
It's pounded into our head every year. We have to do a holiday thing in Andrea.
There you go.
As our birthday.
See, that's a good thing. I was lucky to be going out with Nancy's brother at the time. Oh my God. I remember her calling me and saying the receptionists that we have at the office were terrible and calling in sick all the time. They were just the worst. Lakeview requires someone reliable. Nancy told me to apply for the position. Way to go, Nancy.
Way to go. She'd only been there a month.
That's right, because 25, yeah. Less 2. I remember coming in for the interview with Brad Spears, oh my gosh, and Pat Lumley.
Yeah.
Pat was hired as a temp. She was running back and forth from the mailroom to the reception. The phone was ringing off the hook and I felt like answering it. So that was a good sign. At that time, Lakeview was accomplishing their transition into the hotel market from realty. We were constructing country inns, hotels across Canada and working with foreign investors, so I was pretty busy. You have to, it was pretty busy, which meant it and you became very busy.
Oh, yes.
You have to remember, we only had typewriters. At least there was memory. Could you explain what you were trying to say by that? At least there was memory in the typewriter?
You could actually type something in,
Yes.
and then hit the memory key,
Oh.
and have it like just hit print, and it would type what you had in the system.
That was new.
Modern
It was
technology.
crazy. It was crazy that it had memory.
Okay. In 1994, Mr. Jack Levitt was in need of a secretary and I accepted the position. We slowly graduated from the typewriters to DOS computers, then Windows, and so on. I evolved with Lakeview. After a couple of years working with Mr. Levitt, I thought it was time to ask him for a raise. He gave me a full 6-month term position at Ichi Ban. That's too fun.
It's true.
I remember that. In 2011, I joined the Sales and Marketing Division. In 2015, I joined the Realty Division. So Tammy, Karina, there's your virtual hug. Yes.
Your virtual hug.
Okay. I could see John as I'm reading the others. He's saying, "Oh my God." I had no idea that all Keith was going to do is read what I wrote. But I did say I do delete and I add. Okay, so don't worry. So now we'd like to talk to John Pisker. And, you know, give me the number of years, the actual number.
Started in 85.
He started in 85, I started in 83. I've been like 33 years.
Yeah, but
Is there a hiatus?
But there was a hiatus.
well,
There was.
there was a hiatus from Lakeview leaving the Sheraton downtown.
That's right.
And you stayed with
I stayed with
Sheraton.
and then I started in '99 for the Four Points.
So we left downtown in 93. John Pisker started with us at the Sheraton downtown property as part of the opening team in 1985. Oh my gosh. Oh, John, hold up!
Count his blessings.
John Pisker started with us at the Sheraton downtown property as part of the opening team in 1985. Although his initial job was that of a banquet porter and bartender, to me, it became, and to my dad, and to the other executives at the time, it became quickly apparent that he already had experience on the banquet floor from his work at the Holiday Inn downtown, which is now this one here, the Delta. So we quickly promoted John to banquet captain so that we could take advantage of his experience in order to ensure our catering floor had proper execution for the many new corporate meetings, conferences, family gatherings, and weddings we were starting to book at a feverish pace. Okay, now who remembers this? In the early 1990s, we purchased the Banana nightclub. Does anybody remember the Banana nightclub? That's right. What? It was kitty corner to the Sheraton.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about building a skywalk connecting the two? What is it now?
It's a church.
That's a proper evolution, like we all evolved. In the early 90s, we purchased Banana Nightclub, which was kitty corner to the hotel, and it turned into two very large banquet halls. By this point, John had already been promoted to banquet manager and now had 5 banquet captains of his own, along with over 100 supporting, serving, and bartending associates. And that's where I, and I assume you, met Gordie Howe, becoming assistant GM within 1 year of opening the hotel. And then GM, under Henry's direction, John quickly drove the 4 Points to the very top of Winnipeg's hotel's portfolio. Way to go. And as I keep telling everybody, the 4 Points hotel consistently carried the highest average room rate, highest occupancy in Winnipeg, right up until the terminal was moved. During that strong progression, John also requested that we invest and expand the 4 Points catering capacity to capture the more lucrative small corporate meeting market. It has been this focus that helped carry us through some very difficult times as corporate loyalty to a property that understands service remains loyal. And then I requested John to support us along the way as we grew. He embraced this opportunity, first with his involvement with the Gimli Resort, then he helped us in Summerside, and then with the full service properties, helping us with Prince George, Fort St. John, Drayton Valley, and Fort Saskatchewan. When John brought Allie back to us as the chef of the 4 Points, he knew and already had in mind that Allie would be the natural progression to our corporate chef. And in conjunction with Henry and Chris, that position was created, and all of us remain thankful for that today. With the Grand Hotel startup and focus required to fill our new airport campus, John remains focused on what matters most, building loyalty beyond reason. I mean, that is so true. It's loyalty that all of you have to Lakeview, and it's a loyalty of our guests to come and stay with us.
I think That's all I said.
But I'll just say that I know John will do whatever is required for us to succeed in the airport market in Winnipeg. So thank you so much, John. Thank you. You presented certificate of distinction.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, John.
I was gonna say, where's the hug?
Are we ready? Yeah, that was
Do
it.
it in Nancy's voice.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this was done in the third person. Okay. Nancy began her career at the Lakeview Group on February 12th, 1990. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to say, here is February 12th, 1990, and here is February 12th, 2015. Okay, so that's sort of the tone, the structure of this discussion. She is 25 years old. Today, she is 51 years old. Personally, 25 years ago, Nancy was engaged to be married. Now she's divorced. She had no children. Now she has 2 teenage sons. She used to wear no glasses. Now she has 3 different pair of glasses, which I don't see any as we speak.
The readers.
She used to have hair.
It's still the same.
Now she wears
Extension.
fake hair. Okay.
Oh, what do you mean? Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah.
Damn
We know where this is going.
We know where this is going. Everybody knows.
You know the punchline.
She used to have no blanks.
Blanks.
Now, now she has really big blanks. For one thing that didn't change in 25 years was her hairdo. There you go. Although Nancy reflects that it's funny how life goes, she is glad that she shared these life changes with a great bunch of people. In the early 90s, Nancy was responsible for the accounting for CHNs and Suites and Lakeview Hotel development. In 1994, Darby Squire left Lakeview. Square. Left Lakeview, and Nancy took over the financial statements and tax returns for the remainder of the corporations in the group. Also in 1994, Nancy made a really poor judgment call and took a 2-day vacation to work somewhere else. She was bored out of her mind for those 2 days, so she begged Keith to let her come back. She has not been bored a day since, and since she could never have another going away party, she can never leave Lakeview. Professionally, Nancy has enjoyed how much she has learned during her time with Lakeview, and has welcomed the challenges that have come her way, especially with the creation of Lakeview Hotel REIT, LHIC. She has loved working for the real estate giants, Jack and Keith Levitt, has loved every one of her bosses, Rudy, and wants you to know that 25 years later, she still loves going to her job every day at Lakeview. That is the best. I mean, the last line. So Nancy, here's your certificate of distinction. And you keep turning, and I keep talking. There you go. Good thing Linda's not here.
I know, that's what I was just gonna say, but it's on video.
Okay, this is a tougher one, but 85, I think there was a hiatus period too. Let me tell all of you about Chris. It's unbelievable what he's done within our company. Chris first started with Lakeview around 1985 on the realty side, selling syndicate investment units in the Courts of St. James apartment complex. Does anybody remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Just
Okay.
about them, not with.
After hiatus of several years, returned to the Lakeview on the hotel development side in October of 1990. That's right, you were on a contract basis for the sales of the syndicate. Okay, from a contract to employment basis. Lakeview was active building and managing the Country Inns and Suites by Carlson in Canada, and Chris was hired as the operations supervisor, involved 6 Country Inns and Suites in Western Canada. So, when the operations supervisors for Eastern Canada made the decision to change careers, and who was that? Oh my gosh, Francois Tessier. Chris became the director of operations for all of the 13 Country Inn and Suites in Canada. And then with the retirement of Joyce Peterson, Lakeview's vice president of hotels, Chris assumed these responsibilities in 1995. During his tenure as vice president of hotel operations, Chris has been involved in the growth of Lakeview through what is now the Lakeview Hotel Investment Corp., which we started in 2005. Chris was also very involved in third-party management contracts that Rudy loves so much, with Royal Host and the Investors in Thompson. Lastly, Chris assisted with the creation and the growth of the Lakeview brand of hotels and resorts in 6 provinces in North Dakota. And it all started when he was 14 years old, hired as a busboy at the Nayakwa Motor Hotel in St. Vital.
Awesome. Gotta love that bar.
And this is Chris' Certificate of Distinction. Now, you may stay up. And first of all, I want to say that unfortunately Andrea wasn't able to make it today, and Avram, as you know, is away on holidays. So both Andrea and Avram are lifers with the company, and as you know, Andrea means so much to me. And Avram, of course, right hand. I always say Avram's my right hand, Andrea's my left hand. So, they too will be given their certificate of